Hey, man. Welcome to the Super Divorce YouTube channel. And here at the Super Divorce basement, I am Nicholas Villars, aka Super Divorce. Welcome to this evening's program where I'm going to review my own gameplay. And in the process, probably make some comments on the game that I played, which is Night of Carnage from 616 Games. And you might see that over on the screen there. Hey, it's Carrot. It's my good buddy Carrot in the chat because we're live. This high life is to you. It is to you. It's in your honor, Carrot. Thanks for being here. What's up? I haven't been on to do a live thingamajig in, I feel like it's been about a week now. That's longer than I like to go these days, but here we are. And I thought this would be fun to do. I've been playing all these games for so many days in a row now, it seems. Every day, just about a new game, or two, or three. Or yesterday, I think I posted, was it 5? Did I post 5 new games yesterday? Something like that. Mr. Jorfus is here. Well, hello, Jorfus. What's up? Thanks for stopping by here this evening. I was just talking about how I've been playing all these games for so long, and on the Supercast, which I need to get back to as well. For a minute there, I thought, maybe I'll go in depth on these games and talk about the creators and give all their information, all this kind of stuff. I don't think people care about that so much. It doesn't seem like people care about that. I think people like to hear the games talked about to some degree, and that's maybe what I will do here a bit, and then maybe I'll do that on the Supercast as well. Talk about the games, my impressions of them, and so on, or at least the ones worth talking about. No need to go in depth on the games that I had to slog through and that I didn't even want to finish. I played one of those yesterday. Had a really tough time making it through one that I did yesterday. It was not so much fun. It wasn't a good time. The hitbox, I could show you. I could pull it up and show you. Maybe I'll do that in a little bit, But what I wanted to do before anything else was start with the game that I just played this evening. Another game from 616 Games. And yes, you can ask me a question. Feel free to butt in at any time for any reason. I might not read it immediately, but if I'm not saying anything that I think is important at the time, then I will go ahead and address your comment, your question, your comment, your concern, whatever it is, whatever you would like to talk about. So, yes, please ask me a question if you will. I appreciate that. I like the engagement. That's what I'm here for. Why is it called Super Divorce? Mr. Jorfus wants to know. Well, I've addressed this before, and as the channel grows, I bet that I will address it again in the future. And you know what? At times in the past, I've considered doing what some bands have done, where when they get asked, how'd you come up with your band name? They'll come up with a new answer every time. And then it becomes a mystery. And no one knows what the real explanation is for why the band is called what it's called. Pearl Jam did that. And then Weezer did it as well. And I'm sure that there are others who have done the same thing. But anyway, no, I'll tell you straight up. Super Divorce started out as a 4-piece post-hardcore rock and roll band featuring myself, a guitar player, a bass player, and a drummer. Over time, the band kind of lost members. Long story. I won't get into all the details of what happened. Long story short, it ended up being just me left to continue the band Super Divorce. That's why there is Super Divorce music. And there will be more Super Divorce music in the future. But this YouTube channel was originally started so that Super Divorce could upload music. And then we also we did a podcast together. We started that, and it was like, oh, we'll put our podcast on YouTube also. And that's kind of how this channel started. That's what it was for in the beginning. And over time, when Super Divorce became just me, I was like, well, I want to stay active. I want to interact with people who might be interested in my music, but I don't just want to shill my tunes constantly. I think that if I got on here and did nothing but talk about Super Divorce music and how you should check it out, I mean, there's only so much you can say. So that's where I thought it would be cool to just play some games, talk about comic books, talk about other things that I find interesting, and over time we'll get back to the music and I'll post more of that. And until then, I will continue playing video games because it's a fun thing to do. People seem to like watching these no commentary playthrough videos. I need to also comment sometimes, though. I feel like I need to bring that into the equation because the no commentary thing is a nice service. I think that it's good to have those videos out there when so many chuckleheads on YouTube with their fake reaction videos. Yes, many of them, I would say most of them are probably fake. Fake reaction videos where they're really hamming it up for the camera. And I understand you have to be entertaining. You got to take your personality and everything up to another level and all that kind of shit. You have to play it up just a bit at least to keep people entertained. But the degree to which some YouTubers go, not so good. Really turns people off, I think. Because I get, not every single day, but I've gotten many comments over this last year or so since I started uploading no commentary playthrough videos regularly. Gotten many comments since then, since I started doing this, of thank you so much for just putting the gameplay up, for not putting your stupid head down in the corner and screaming over top of the game and the music and all the sounds that people want to hear. Thank you for not doing that. And I say you're welcome. I'll continue doing that. But sometimes I'll get on here and I want to interact with people and I want to show a bit of my personality and what I'm all about. And sometimes I do want to show you my reactions, and sometimes I want to react and tell you my honest opinion of the games that I'm playing. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So the no commentary videos are not going away. Not going to take that away from anyone. I'm just adding another thing in case anyone would like to hear what I have to say about the games that I play. How about that? Carrot says there are not enough no commentary channels these days, though Carrot does enjoy my streams. Well, thank you. I think that it is nice to offer some variety to your customers, your viewers, the people who are coming to hang out and support your channel. So people show up to the streams sometimes, then I will stream. And I will continue to do that. And if people continue to watch the gameplay videos, then I'll continue to do that. And that's how things work. Oh, boy. Okay, so let me put on my headphones so that so I may hear this game. Again, this one is Night of Carnage from 616 Games. I played just about every 616 game that's been released since they started doing the damn thing. Most recently, played through all the Poop Killer games, and those were fun. fun little wacky, silly horror games where the killer is a man with a toilet on over his head, and he kills people. If you shit on the floor, he comes to kill you. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to draw the ire of the poop killer. So far, they've done 4 poop killer games. There's the Poop Killer 1 through 3 trilogy, and then they also just did the Poop Killer Origins game, which was pretty fun. And there's an Easter egg in this game for a Poop Killer number 4, which would actually be the 5th game in the Poop Killer series. So there you go. All right, let's check this out here. Let's see what we've got going on. By the way, this playthrough has been modified to fit the video screen that you see here in the Super Divorce basement. So I've modified it just a bit, stretched it out to fit the screen, so we don't have to worry about those pesky black bars on the top and bottom. I think it looks better this way. I do. All right. By the by, let me know if the sound needs turned up or down or anything like that as we go along. Thank you. Use headphones for a better experience. That's what we're doing now. I didn't play with headphones on, just to let you know. I went against their advice there. Still worked out fine for me. All these games from 616. Oh, I'll let you hear this.
Now we live in fear. I'm talking about the killer on the loose. The police still don't have any clues about his identity. Known as Carnage, as it melts the faces of its victims with acid and then
Is that turned down too low to where you can't hear it?
Any information, please call the police immediately.
Thanks, Hayden. This is the time to be careful. Don't trust anyone stranger. Don't be alone on the street at night. Keep the doors of your house locked. God have mercy on us. This was the nightly paper. I'm Thales. Thank you and good night.
I like the name of that. The nightly paper. It's a good news show name. The nightly paper. So, if you've watched any of the other 616 games that I've played, you might notice that graphically it looks much clearer. This game does. That's because there's a particular filter that's usually turned on when you start a 616 game, but they didn't have the filter activated to start this one. So I rolled with it. I said, okay, well, if that's the default, that's what we'll do. So you talk to your mom, she's sitting on the couch, and she wants you to go to bed now. Here I was looking around in some previous games of 616. You've been able to interact with the TV or pick up videotapes. I couldn't do that in this one. None of that happening here. So I decided, all right, well, let me check out the lay of the land here. I'm just going to look around the house a little bit, look outside, see what the neighborhood looks like. Pretty standard fare, not much to interact with in the basement. You go upstairs, go into mom's room here. Nothing, nothing out of place. No, no toys lying around or anything like that. So you shut the door. Say your new neighbor is very strange. What is he doing standing there? Looks like a statue. What's this guy doing out there? But you say, oh, better go to sleep. Who is that? That's a different YouTuber. I've seen him before, but I don't know his name. There's the Poop Killer 4 Easter egg I was telling you about. This hiding place might come in handy later in the game.
Poop killer. Pooping you don't flush. Poop killer 100-yard rush.
So you turn the radio on, and there's actually a Poop Killer song that plays. A Poop Killer rap song.
Poop killer, he dirty with it. He
And I decided it would be fun to dance along to it and let the people playing the video hear the entire Poop Killer song. We won't have to do that, but I just, you know, I kind of bopped up and down to it a bit, played along. Will this be the cover art for the actual Poop Killer 4 when it comes out? I don't know. I hope it is. I left a comment on the 616 Games Patreon page, and I said, you know, it'd be really cool if you made it a goal to actually make 100 Poop Killer games. I don't know if anything like that's been done before. A game with 100 entries in the entire series. That'd be pretty impressive. That would have to be a world record of some sort. Mr. Jorfus says, oh no, typically weird neighbor that is probably the serial killer. Well, he might be. We'll find out. The Poop Killer song is interesting, isn't it? It's a bopper. So there's some stormy weather, screams in the night. You wake up. Go and grab the binocs, look out there, and you see some blood on the pavement. And you know, when you look down in the bottom right-hand corner, press tab to show mouse, that's X'd out. That lets you know what's going on right now. You cannot skip. And you see the neighbor, he's got, it looks like a bloody stump, dripping blood. And you say, my God, the neighbor is the killer. So he throws the bloody stump into the van there and walks ever so slowly back into his home. You know, really taking his time. No, not a care in the world, really. Now he disappears. Where did he go? I was wondering that myself. And there he is, looking up at us from outside, and then he's gone. A scary moment indeed. He knows that you know. And that's a classic scenario when you're dealing with this type of ordeal with a kid up in his bedroom looking out the window, sees something he shouldn't see, tries to wake up mom. She doesn't believe him. She's like, yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a good man. Go back to bed. And I mean, that would be the normal reaction. That's what you would do. That's what you would do in real life. Is you don't care. What are you, a 13-year-old kid? I wouldn't give a shit if my mom told me that he was a good man. It's like I just saw him throw a bloody stump into his van park next door. Get the cops over here, and it's a done deal. And what happens in the rest of the game would be no factor. It wouldn't even... I mean, some bad things are going to happen. And they all could have been avoided if, instead of listening to your mom, who sleepily told you to ignore it and go back to bed, if you would have just walked downstairs, picked up the phone, called the police, the whole thing would have been over with right now. End of story. The killer from the nightly, what do they call it? The nightly paper. He would have been behind bars, and no one else needed to die. I thought maybe those implements were going to come into the fold. You might pick one of those up to protect yourself at some point. Spoiler alert, you don't get to use those. There's nothing you can do with those tools down there in the garage. So you go back upstairs, grab your binocs again. Yeah, he's a good man. Yeah, you never know. He might just be holding the body, exactly. Doesn't mean that he did it. he's only an accessory to murder. No big deal. Nice morning time, wake up, look out there. It's been raining all night, so of course bloodstains are gone. You know, the big bloody mess. And at some point he probably drove off and disposed of the bloody stump. So that's not anything to worry about anymore. Out of your room. Mom's up, obviously, if she's still alive. Downstairs. Oh! That's the neighbor, if you didn't figure it out. You're very upfront with him as the player character, saying, you need to get the hell out of here, guy. So I walked right up to him, and I stood here for a few seconds to let him know, I see you, buddy. You're not fooling me. And I know that you know that I know that you know. And so on and so forth. And I'm going to stand here and let you peer into my eyes. Good point. That is a very tall child that we're playing as. Maybe he's a future NBA star. Could be a star basketball player at his school. But we're going out to rake the leaves here. And just leave our mother inside the house with the next door killer. Just casually doing some leaf raking. Or sweeping the leaves, as they say in the game. Never called it that myself. I went to open the door just to check on him. Make sure nothing funny was happening. Sweeping the leaves. I never called it sweeping the leaves. Or cleaning. I always said raking. So I went inside here and saw that they're watching... This is one of the Friday the 13th films, I believe. I've not seen any of the old Friday the 13th movies in a long time. But I'm fairly certain that's what this scene is from. When you'll see Jason come up here in just a second. I decided to have a sit down in the living room and just watch along with them for a minute. You know, might as well. And there he is. Does anyone know which Friday the 13th this is? And then they cut to the girl waking up. I always found that setting to be unnerving. The camp setting for a horror movie. Because oftentimes it's really nice outside, you know. Bright sunny day out in the woods, and then there's just a killer on the loose. And in the Friday the 13th movies, they don't always like do the killings at night. Sometimes it is broad daylight, but you're out in the woods, people get lost and they're being tracked, and man, it's creepy. You know, it's something that creeps into your mind if you go out to a campground, or you know, you always have that Jason thing. You know, the what if there's a masked murderer just wandering through the woods. There they are, just hanging out on the couch. He's staring right at me. Kind of looks like Jonathan Turturro, I think. The guy who played the Jesus in Lebowski. It's kind of a Jonathan Turturro type character there. And he just stares at me as I inch out of the living room. Leave them two alone there. I wouldn't do it myself. I knew that this is what I had to do in the game, but you can bet your bottom dollar if there were a murderer sitting in the living room with my mother, I would not be leaving. I wouldn't do that. I love my mom too much. Carrot says, I think it's part 2. What we just saw there. Did he get the mask in part 3? I think in part 2 he just wore a bag over his head, didn't he? Like a burlap sack throughout most of the movie. In his first appearance, well, first, like, not his first appearance, he appears at the end of the original, but his first time being the killer throughout the entire film. So you wake up, and Mom's gone, raining again in the middle of the night, looking around, checking things out. I was a little sad there wasn't more to interact with in this game, in this 616. I always keep fumbling over that. 616. In other games, there's been more to interact with, where you hover over it and you'll get like a description or things that you can actually pick up. This one's a little sparse on that kind of thing. I always like things to interact with, just to dick around, see what kind of details have been put into the game. But not much of that going on in this one here. Mr. Jorfus says it will be way more horrific if he can do a 360 with his head. Well, we might see a 360 with another head here in a second. So, look, outside, they were just taking a nice stroll through the neighborhood. And here's what I don't get. It's another time. No, Mom, where are you going? Shit. Shit. Still can't tab out. Can't exit. Can't put your binoculars down. You say, if you hurt my mother, I swear I'll kill you. Well, 10 seconds ago, you should have been downstairs screaming at the top of your lungs for your mom not to go into that goddamn house. Way I see it. But how, I mean, you wait for her to start screaming. Mommy, oh my God, I need to call the police. Now you can tab out. Now you can run downstairs. Now you can go down there, which I did as quickly as I could. Central Police, what's your occurrence? Please, policeman, need to help me. The neighbor is the wanted killer. He is with my mother. Alright, I'm tracking the address and soon the police will get to you. Shit, I hope they come. So then you just stand here. You're blocked via invisible wall from going out the front door. You can't do that. So you're just kind of standing here, waiting for the police to arrive. Again, is that what you would do? Viewer, would you stand there after you'd heard your mother screaming next door at the butcher's house? When you've got these tools, you could have grabbed a sledgehammer and run over there. You could have gotten something. But no, you just wait. You stand here at the front door. Carrot says, kid says he should call the police after the second person is killed instead of after the first person was killed. Yeah, the kid's a dumbass in this game. You're put into the shoes of a dumbass. And I don't know what kind of hairstyle this guy has. He's got like a... What is that? It's like a turd sticking... Like a turd wheel sticking out of the top of his head. I don't know what that is. The cop says, keep calm. And then look. Who has somehow made it up to your front porch without anyone noticing? Just gliding across, sashaying, if you will. There goes your help. Got to be your own first responder, guys. You got to be able to respond. You can't rely on the cops all the time. Can't pick up any of those tools. You're just stuck. Can't get in the car. I mean, so many different options that I can think of, but you know, you're forced into the role of this kid who is... And there's a cop. You can see him still bleeding out on your front porch. You don't think to go and pick up the phone again and let them know what happened. I mean, absolutely no common sense by the character here. Zero situational awareness on the cop. Exactly, Carrot. That's right. I mean, imagine. What a horrible police officer. Now, here we go. You go out to the garage. Oh, he was tapping on the window with your mother's head, and there it goes rolling across the floor. I tried to go out the front door. That didn't work. The front door did not work. Now, here's some behind-the-scenes shit that will not be on the SUPERPLAY if you watch it. Mommy, no! You see him right there tapping on the window with Mom's head. That's where I was saying a different head might do a 360 soon. It was hers. It goes tumbling through the window and onto the ground. And he comes through. You might wonder why I'm backing up. And then I just get killed again. What's this guy doing? That's why I took it out. I took this part out of the SUPERPLAY because no one would understand what's happening. And I look like an idiot. What happened was, after I died the first time, and I respawned, I could not move around with the mouse. I couldn't look around. I was stuck facing the direction I was looking. I could move the mouse in the menu, but in the game itself, all I could do was use WASD to move around in the house. I could not change which direction I was looking. So what I did was I tried to figure out what the solution to this puzzle was going to be. And so I made my way up to the bedroom, of course to the closet that's mentioned earlier in the game as best hiding place. And I was like, alright, well, I don't want to have to start this all over again, which I feared I was going to have to do if I quit and came back into the game after restarting. So I was like, let me try to memorize the path I need to take, maneuvering around the house using WASD, and just try to beat him up to the bedroom without getting caught. And that's what you'll see here, my attempts to do that. So I make it through there, up part of the stairs, and he got to me because I didn't hit A fast enough to begin going up the next flight of stairs to my left. That's what happened there. So here we go. Here's another try. Actually, I went into the menu. Here's the PlayStation filter that I was telling you about. This is what 616 games normally look like. Then I tried turning CTR on. Sometimes if you toggle these settings, it'll like jar something loose and things will work the way they're supposed to. That didn't happen this time. So I just had to go back into the game and give it another try. So, because I got killed the last time out, I was like, alright, let me give myself another run through here. Let me try to get back upstairs and see if I can be a little more proficient with my movements. That's where he got me last time, was on that stairway. So let me see how quickly I can do this. That's what was going through my head right here. It was very annoying. But again, I had already put in, whatever, 20, 25 minutes. And I had a feeling if I quit the game and restarted, it was just going to put me right back at the very beginning again. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. We're going to figure this out. I'm going to get up there. So this one was not the, as you see there, that was not the winner chicken dinner. I fell to the right of the stairs going back into the house. So I was getting a little butt hurt right here. Just feeling a little butt hurt. Here we go. Moving through. Decent pace. Up to the top of the stairs. And to the bedroom. And I got it. Home free. For the most part. So now you just have to wait it out. This is actually the way that similar to what you have to do in, I think it was Poop Killer 3, where you have to find a hiding spot in a cupboard in a restaurant and wait for the poop killer to walk by and then go the other direction. Carrot says I'm a masterful gamer. Well, I am the greatest gamer alive. And this is just a small sampling of my skills and proof that I am better than anyone else in the world at video games. All of them. Can't do the binoculars. You turn around, and here's the showdown. You're given a choice. Jump through the window or kick the assassin in the balls. I chose to jump out the window. That was not a good choice to do. You jump out the window, you seem to smack your head, break your neck, I think before you even roll off the roof. It seems like you jump out the window and almost immediately break your neck and then just topple down to the ground, and the game ends with you staring up at a rainy sky, knowing that all of this could have been avoided if you would have just called the police that very first night after you saw your neighbor loading a big bloody corpse into his van. So I said, all right, well, let me continue. Let me go back and get ending number 2. So here's my attempt to run through again. Thought I had it. I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Nope. Somehow when he grabs you, you're teleported back to the garage. I don't understand that. Mr. Jorfus says to do your E-strategy, you need photographical memory. You must be really smart. Yes, thank you. And it's also, yes, 0.000 repeating one of my game skills. Well, I got stuck there. But so did he. So I got to just stare at him for a minute. He got caught in the post. I thought maybe I was going to glitch through the top, and I didn't. So I was like, alright, well, take me as I am then. Go ahead. Get it over with. We'll do it again. We'll run it back. And here we go. Got caught going up the stairs. Can't remember if this is a good one or not. I think it might be. Right here I got really worried because you move slower going left to right than you do just going forward. Alright, made it to the hiding place again. Just gotta wait him out. And my gaming power is indeed unlimited. There is no end to it. It's only portioned out how I see fit, though. I show you what I want to show you, and only what I want to show you. Waiting for him to leave. I think this part could be shortened up a little bit, personally, because you can't get out. It won't let you leave, even if you try. So it's not like there's a skill involved here where you have to wait and leave at the right time. It's just the scene playing itself out. I think that could be shortened. The face off again. And this time we're going to kick the assassin in the balls. And there's a nice dodge. And a kick square in the nuts. And it crumples him up like a rag doll. And that's that. That's the second ending. So if I had to guess what happens next, even though it's not confirmed, just based on the way that this character responded to everything else that happened in the game, he probably stood here looking at his next door neighbor, serial killer, until the guy woke up and just grabbed him and stabbed him to death. That's what I imagine this guy does. That's how stupid this character is. See, because he didn't go for the guy's fucking knife or anything like that. He did nothing like that. He just stared at him. There, I think we'll put that up. That's good. Yeah. He did activate his Neo powers. I've seen similar scenarios in other 6/16 games endings, actually, where someone will I think someone does it in one of the Poop Killer games where a turd gets thrown at them from across the room by the Poop Killer. It's careening across the room in slow motion, and the character, if you choose the right ending, he does that kind of arch back, and you see the turd fly right past his face, and you survive that one, I think. So I've seen that effect used before. Mr. Jorfus says, when you know you are the protagonist and an amazing player, you is playing you. Well, I was not playing me in this game. I can tell you that much. I'm certainly not playing myself. I was playing one of the stupidest characters that I've ever had to control in a video game. So many opportunities to do things differently, to have a nice outcome before seemingly all was lost. You know, didn't have to go down like that. Really didn't. So it's a shame. It's too bad. But as far as all the 6/16 games go, it didn't feel right playing without the PS1 filter. Like I said, this was the first time I've done that, and it just didn't, it felt off. I didn't like it. I mean, it's not that I thought the game looked bad for how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look kind of low poly, throwbackish. But that PS1 filter, it's really grown on me whenever I played these 6/16 games. That's what I expect. So doing this one made it feel less like all the others that I've done from this particular developer. And so I think in the future I will probably check to make sure that PS1 filter is turned on for all of the 6/16 games that I decide to play. And I'll probably decide to play all of them on this channel. I haven't played Dick Killer. I had to censor that one a little bit. Forgot that one recently. Dick Killer. You had to escape a killer who ran around completely nude, fully erect. So anytime he appeared on screen, I had to like zoom in so it would only show, his torso up, because you would see his peen sticking out as he ran after you, and he's trying to grab you and have his way with you. Did not want that to happen. I was able to avoid him and completed that game. But had the filter on in that one. I think this was the first one that I did not. But I'll have to put that on in the future just to keep it real. Carrot says, Nick Villar's horror game win. I mean, I'd love to make a little game myself. I've got ideas. It's just that's another thing to put on the plate. And I've already got the comic I'm working on. I've already got new music that I need to do. I have to do these videos. Well, there's not a have to, which I'm just saying the way I've prioritized it, I get to. It's a treat. I enjoy doing this. But to add another thing on top of all the other endeavors, that's a completely different hobby or field, whatever you want to call it, creative pursuit. It's one that I've not really dabbled in like at all. And I know it's become much easier over time to get into game creation. Certain systems have been constructed to make that easier for people to do, to jump into. I've seen some games that people have put on itch that I've played where it's like, this is my first one. I just did one yesterday. Exquisite Sacrifices, I think, was the one that I posted yesterday, where it was the guy's first game. And I think it was made within 72 hours. It was part of a game jam type deal. So it had to be made within 72 hours. And it was the first game this person had ever done before. And I mean, it was kind of bullshit at times. I ended up beating it, but it was impressive, I think, for a first outing. So if I really applied myself and sat down and learned, I think I could do it. It's just not yet. Maybe at some point down the road. And yes, Jorphus, please tell me a joke. I like a good joke. I always like a good joke. So let's hear it. What's your joke? Please share with the class. What do you got for us here? Let's hear it. What do you got? Try and think of a joke while I'm waiting. One of my favorites. What did the hat rack say to the hat? You go on ahead, I'll stay here. How about this one? When is a door not a door? When it's ajar. Huh? What is black and white? Black and white, says Mr. Jorphus. What is black and white? Black and white. A nun falling stairs. Black and white, black. Okay. All right, I get it. You know, that would be a good joke to include in the game Nun Massacre. Nun Massacre. Maybe I'll do a review of that one, a SUPERPLAY review. Carrot says, God, you're bringing me back to elementary with these jokes. Well, that's... I like little punny jokes. Dad jokes, if you will. I am a dad, so that's it makes sense. But even before I became a dad, I've always enjoyed shitty little nonsensical jokes that really annoy people, it seems, more than make them laugh, which is maybe why I find them enjoyable. I don't know. Let's see. Well, here we are. We've been going at this for about an hour almost. It's just under 50 minutes. So I thought this was a neat little thing to do. Again, I don't get to talk over top of my gameplay very often, so I'm glad I could describe to everyone what was happening there, like what happened in that one part where I had to walk backwards. Again, I was not able to convey that. I mean, I could have put some text on the screen. I've done that a few times in the past with various things that have happened in games, but it's easier to just describe what's happening. So I'm glad I could tell you about that. And maybe if the fine folks at 616 get to see this, then maybe they'll be able to address that bug, whatever it was. Probably leave them a comment about that on Patreon as well, just so it doesn't bug anyone else. Because you gotta let these people know when things are wrong with their games. Stuff like that. That's not like that's not a bitchy gripe about the story or anything of that nature. That's just stuff people need to know so that it can be fixed and other players can make it through the game successfully, because not everyone is going to be so forgiving. Some people might reach that point and be like, oh, I can't look around, well, fuck this, and then they exit the game, delete it, and that's the last they ever hear from you. So I ran into a lot of bugs with a game that I played over the weekend, last weekend, Sense's Midnight, sequel to Sense, a cyberpunk ghost story, which was one of the very first playthroughs that I did on this channel, like full game playthroughs. Kind of what inspired me to continue down this road, because it got like 8,000 views or something, like right off the bat, which is not something that I was used to at that point. So the sequel came out after a long time of waiting, and I was very determined to make it through, but it was a hell of a process. I got to the ending like 3 different times, and there's like one interaction you have to do before the game ends. I don't have to explain the whole story, but there's a security box, and there's a key card that you have to swipe. And basically you swipe this key card, and then a cutscene plays, and that's the end of the game. And I made it to that sequence where all I had to do was swipe the key card, and the box that you had to swipe it on was just not functioning. Like, you couldn't interact with it. You walk up to it, you're pressing the button to swipe the card, and it just was not working. And they thought they had fixed it, one time. The first time, I just thought my game was glitched. And so I went back, I did it again, didn't work the second time, waited for the patch to come out, tried it a third time, still didn't work. And then there was like a second patch they released, and I just completely not only restarted the game, I deleted the game off my hard drive, re-downloaded it, made it to the ending, and then finally was able to complete the game. But I knew knew the game front and back at that point. Go and check out that playthrough if you would like. Sense Midnight. The main character is a nice young lady with a big old rockin' set of titties that you can see bouncing around the whole time that I'm playing that one. So it's another incentive to go and watch it. Mr. Jorfus says, oh, by the way, can you review SCP Containment Breach? I was looking into that. Now I have a question for you, because I actually was considering doing that, and there are multiple games out there with the SCP Security Breach, or SCP Containment Breach. I'm thinking Five Nights at Freddy's here, not Security Breach, Containment Breach. There are multiple games with that in the title, and I don't know which one you're talking about. Like, the big popular one that came up on Steam when I searched for it was like a multiplayer game. And then I found a bunch on itch, and I didn't know which one to look for. So if you can like link me somehow to the actual one that you're requesting, either on Steam or itch or wherever you happen to know it's located, I would appreciate it, and I would have no problem doing that. Carrot says the only thing about SCP Containment Breach is it's a long game, relatively speaking, when it's compared to quick plays like Nun Massacre and such. The multiplayer is Secret Laboratory. I think he means the original Containment Breach. Is the original Containment Breach on Steam? Could I find it on there? Because for some reason when I searched for it, like, maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough. I was just like, I think I found the top one, and I was like, oh, this must be it. But then I looked at it, and it said multiplayer. So that didn't seem correct. Didn't seem like you wanted me to get on here and just do a multiplayer game. I mean, I do that from time to time, but I was assuming there was like a story, a single player mode that you were actually requesting that I play through in traditional Super Divorce style. So, but yeah, if it's a long game, depends on how long it is. What do you mean by long? Is it like 25 hours? 10? 5? Because, I mean, I could do something in that range. I try not to do things that are, you know, up in like the 10 plus hour range. Just because, I don't know. So many games are coming out every day. And I try to kind of stay up on the ones that look really good. The ones that look good enough to play through and feature on the channel. A lot of stuff comes out on itch. And you don't even know if it's an actual game. It'll just be like a thumbnail image of like a really shitty drawing in Microsoft Paint, and then there are no thumbnails for the gameplay itself, no videos, no description. Anything like that I always skip over. But anything that looks good, like they put some time and effort into it, usually if it looks like a low poly horror game, you know, that's going to be 25, 30, 45 minutes, an hour to get through. Stuff like that's kind of what I look for. But I will play other games from time to time. I've done a handful of platformers. Done a bit of online play, stuff like that. Carrot says it's only like 2 to 3 hours. Well, yeah, that's not too bad. I could make that happen. Maybe on my next slow day, when I hop on itch, like there was one earlier this week, I think, where I was refreshing the page like all day long and there was just nothing. Some days it'll be like that. And then I'll have a day like yesterday where there are 5 games that I think are worth putting up on the channel. I just try and stay on top of the ones that I think are worth featuring, and, you know, sometimes something passes me by and I'll try and go back and grab it and play it later, but I try and stay on top of things as they're coming out. And so that's why I don't do many games that are like up in that 10 plus hour range, because typically I don't have 10 hours to sit here and play through something in one sitting. If I'm going to do a game like that length, then I've got to split it up into multiple days. And then, of course, as I'm devoting my playtime to this 5, 6, 7 hour game over the span of several days, then there's also new stuff coming out that I'm not getting around to. That gets pushed off. Other channels get to put those playthroughs up before I do, and I don't want them to, because trying to make this the place to be for that type of shit. It's a bit of a competition out there, you know. I like being the guy with the first playthrough up on YouTube for a lot of this shit. And you never know what's going to hit. That's something else. You know, I played, again, like 4 or 5 games yesterday, and I think most of them are between 30 and 40 views right now. And sometimes that's how it goes. And then every now and again, play a random game. A lot of times games that I have second thoughts on even bothering to play. That SpongeBob one that I did a while back. What was it called? The True Ingredients. I looked at that like, I don't know. I went back and forth on it. Where I was like, I don't really feel like, I'm not a big SpongeBob guy. It might be okay, it might not. And I think it costs like $4.99 too. And most of the games I do are $2, $3, maybe $1. Looking at $5 for a SpongeBob game that might just be shit. I don't know if I want to do that. And I pulled the trigger. I finally did it. It's up there. It's got like, I think 80,000 views or something stupid. I don't know if it's quite that much. It might be 58,000. I don't know off the top of my head. But it's tens of thousands of views, and I didn't expect it to do shit. I thought that would be a game that I throw up there and it gets maybe between 50 to 60 views. So I never know. You never know what's going to blow up. That happened with Poppy Playtime, the very first Poppy Playtime. When that came out, scrolling through Steam and I saw it, I had heard nothing about it. It didn't have much hype. The first one didn't. It just appeared, and I happened to see it. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. Put it up on the page, and boom, almost immediately. So crazy how this YouTube game works. Carrot says Super Divorce will forever be the place to be. That's what I aim to convince more and more people of as time goes on. And Carrot says the vid that led me to your channel was your Iron Lung playthrough. Oh, yeah, that was an interesting game. That was an interesting game. That one gave me some fits. That playthrough that you see up there was not my. It was certainly not my first run. Let's say that. Could have shown you many outtakes, and if you would have been in the room with me recording, there would have been some good butt hurt recorded as I tried to navigate the blood ocean of Iron Lung. But I think a lot of people started looking that game up, not necessarily because I posted it. It got played by some pretty big YouTubers. Markiplier played it. I think who's that other guy? Some of his subscribers have been sent here on the Poop Killer videos because he's played those, but he won't show the part for some reason where anytime there's like poop coming out of someone's butt, he like censors it. So people from his channel always come over to my videos for Poop Killer uncut or uncensored. I don't know why this guy censors it. It's not like it's shown in detail. It's like, again, PS1 style graphics of just like a brown block coming out of a low resolution butthole. I mean, it's not, obviously YouTube's not taken me to task for it or done anything to my channel. So I never even had a moment of hesitation about posting those videos. I think this is so silly and far from the most offensive thing on YouTube. So it never occurred to me that I couldn't even show that. But this guy, again, I'm trying to remember who it is. Cubs Scouts, I think. Cubs Scouts. I'd never heard of his YouTube channel until, again, his subs started coming over here on Poop Killer stuff. Mr. Jorfus said, oh wait, I forgot one of my favorite creepypastas, and it's a backroom game, and it's called Inside the Backrooms. Okay. I'll look that one up too. Inside the Backrooms. Yeah, scared of YouTube's terms of service, I suppose, though I've seen some wild stuff get past the guidelines and stay up. So have I, which is why on the Poop Killer games, I never had any fear that they would come after me for posting the uncensored gameplay. I mean, you can show much more graphic, violent, vile, villainous, dastardly type of content on the platform and not get flagged for it. So I don't know, being afraid to show a blocky, low resolution turd shooting across the screen seems strange to me, but you know, you got to protect your neck however you think you need to, so whatever. Fair play to you. But I think that's gonna just about wrap things up for tonight, guys. Gone about an hour here, and it is just past 2 in the a.m. Got some stuff to do in the morning, so probably gonna wrap it up and perhaps be back with another live stream tomorrow of something else, another game, maybe a drawing stream, because I need to do some more drawing. And I was trying to think up maybe a more concrete streaming schedule. Might do something like that. Might try to get something in place. I don't know. Well, thank you, Mr. Jorfus. I'm glad that you enjoyed tonight's video. And Carrot, thank you, as always, for your generosity, your wonderful opening of the wallet to extend a $9.99 super chat to me this evening. Always appreciate that, and always just appreciate your presence here, and anyone else who's watching, anyone who took the time to hang out, even if you came after the fact. If you were lurking, perhaps, feel free to lurk for as long as you want to, but also anytime, engage in the chat and send a message my way, or send a message to Mr. Jorfus or Carrot in the chat. We're all just hanging out, having a good old time. And that's what we're going to do here. And that's why this is the place to be for gaming content on YouTube. And content in general, to be quite honest. But for now, it is time for me to take my leave from YouTube. Until next time. So everybody, take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Cheers and bye-bye.